Phew. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Hey there, everybody. It's a nasty one here again. Welcome back to the next episode of the Overdogs franchise rebuild here in Super Mega Baseball 4. We're in year number 3. And the last episode was the league finals where we took on the Sirloins. And unfortunately, it did not end well as we ended up dropping the series 2 games to none as we got swept by the Sirloins in back-to-back games as we blew leads late in both contests to see us get swept out of the finals by the only team in the series so far to make the playoffs all 3 years, and we saw the Sirloins hoist their first title here in the series. And then at the end of the episode, we did the off-season signing period where we re-signed everybody that we wanted to keep for the most part moving forward and freed up a couple roster openings. First things first, let's take a look at the team right now to show you what we have that we're working with. Right now, we release backup third baseman Rafi Slaps. Roy Crowds is no longer in left field. Javier Cortez, our bench outfielder, is gone. Center fielder Reyes Rufo was being slightly overpaid, so he has been released, although we are open to bringing him back because of how well he played last season in the playoffs. And Bishop Fuller, the 40-year-old, retired at the end of the season, so he is gone. So here is what is on tap for us in the free agency period. What are the plans here for the team to retool and be a contender once again in year number 4? Well, here's what we've got planned. We're going to release probably Alberto King. I was thinking about this, and it was brought up to me in the comments that we need a defensive-minded catcher on this team that has a good throwing arm. Sportsman is decent offensively, and he's a good catcher, but he allowed way too many runners to advance into scoring position because he doesn't have a great enough arm to throw them out. So another catcher doesn't need to be better than Sportsman, just needs to be one that we could sub in defensively late games to limit stolen base attempts. Joe Trunk, although I'm not completely sold on how well he has played so far in the series, some people do like him, others are not a fan of him. We will take a look at first base to see if there is any options to maybe replace him with a different starting first baseman, because he just hasn't played to the level of play you would expect with a guy with those ratings. Moving down the list, Hack Liner is actually on the chopping block. I thought coming into this that I wouldn't touch him and would leave him on the roster, but I was thinking about it. He's already slightly overpaid. He's 0.7 above his price point, and he is 34. He is going to continue to regress here as the offseason goes on. So what are we going to do with him moving forward when that happens? I don't. If that were to happen, we would have to cut him mid-season, and there's no guarantee that there is going to be a suitable replacement that will be there to, fill the hole for us. So what are we going to do? I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll see what's out there in free agency, but Hack may be gone. Obviously, we're getting a new backup third baseman with Rafi no longer on the team. Moving down to left field, we do need a new left fielder, Roy Crowds, although it was a very polarizing figure. He's very mid. Some people like him, some people don't. We would bring him back if we get Discipline back to Tier 2 because that's kind of Rory's bread and butter. But right now, Discipline is at Tier 1, and I don't know if I plan to get that back up to Tier 2. There's not a lot of traits on this roster that are needed. Like literally 2 of them are gone already, so these 2 traits are gone, and the other 3... Elroy can get by with Tier 1 fastball hitter. Dieguez with Tier 1 composed. He already has elite level accuracy. It don't matter. Bergenberg with consistent. It would be nice at Tier 2, but it's not a very powerful trait compared to others, so I'll pass on that as well. So Ness Crowds kind of is made redundant at that point. We also need a bench outfielder, obviously, to replace Javier Cortez. We need a center fielder. Hopefully we can get Reyes Rufo back, but we will see what is out in free agency. And we will need a starting... We are looking possibly to replace right fielder Track Statsman. He just hasn't played to the level you would expect of a guy making that much money. He just hasn't been very good in this series. He's been very inconsistent. And since after year 1, he's just never duplicated his success. Yes, year 2, he got a lot of RBIs driven in, but with those hitting ratings, you would see a little bit more power from a guy like him, right? Yeah, he's never hit more than 2 home runs in a season. He's just been very underwhelming. He has a very good trait, but he never uses it well. I feel like when he has RBI hero active, more often than not, he fails. We're also going to need a starting pitcher to replace Bishop Fuller, who did retire. I'm thinking something along the lines of a B+, maybe A-. Dieguez is obviously great as an ace. He proved that last year. Bergenberg is good as well. He's been developing in the series, but I don't think he's earned the confidence to be the number 2 yet in the rotation. And obviously we don't want Tarak Smith above a number 4. He's not quite ready to be a number 3 consistently yet. And then in the bullpen, we're probably going to replace Alan Sims. Like, the rookie just had a horrible season. He didn't bounce back in the postseason either. He continued to struggle. While the other pitchers in the bullpen, Marshmallow pitched really well late in the season and in the playoffs. Munstar was solid all year except for her final appearance of the season, which was unfortunate, but sometimes that happens. Heimlich is an underrated steal, and Elliott Roundhouse, although she had a average rookie season in the regular year, she popped off in the playoffs and didn't give up an earned run. So, yeah, they all earned my confidence, whereas Sims, he's overrated in my opinion. So, let's see what's out here in free agency. First things first, though, we're going to go through retirements. See who has left the league here. First up, we have Sting McGee retiring from the Grapplers, who were eliminated in the semifinals by us. Rhiannon Cannon from the Moose, their ace, retires. Jacques Ofteen retires, the catcher for the Buzzards at age 39. Wanda Dregel, the ace of the Blowfish, has retired. Bishop Fuller, obviously, we knew that already. Jem Colita retires after winning a ring with the Sirloins. Congrats to her. Joseph Broseph, the reliever from the Moose, he was originally on the Hot Corners, he is also retired. So, good bit of retirements here this season. And here's what I found in free agency off screen. I did go through this off screen right before this. And here's what I found. Going position by position here, starting at catcher. There is a rookie catcher here, intriguing. He's not defensive minded. This is Everett Terrell, 19-year-old. I thought maybe we get rid of Sportsman and maybe bring him in. Then I thought, I'm looking at the chemistry right now. It's probably not going to work out, but I just thought it was intriguing to see what was here. For backup defensive catchers, though, Fiona Clark fits that bill very well, former Herbisaur's catcher. Clark is obviously really well known for her defense, and at 27, she can still develop a little bit higher, maybe up to a B-, B overall. And then I went down further on the list and looked at the other guys, and I found Beckham Crosby. He's a glass cannon in the box, hitting-wise, but defensively minded, it's not elite, but that is a very solid starting point, and the arm is already better than Sportsman. Is he a decent backup? Absolutely. I wouldn't mind signing him for that. Plus, he helps our scholarly chemistry, which we need at Tier 3. Same with Clark, so both fit that bill very well. Moving down to first base, I found rookie first baseman Mira McFarland, a disciplined player, which would have pinch perfect, which wouldn't matter because she would be the primary first baseman, replacing Joe Trunk. She's a good power hitter, well, actually a really great power hitter, decent contact to boot. Speed is above average. Fielding is good for a first baseman. It's not great or anything. And her arm actually is surprisingly really well, which means playing her at third base could be an option. Found another rookie, young guy down here, actually, Ronan Bernard. He's first baseman catcher. He's got a good arm there at first base. Wild thrower makes him a little less intriguing, but his chemistry fits. He's got scholarly. He's a great elite power hitter, and he's got a good arm. That's about all he does. And then I also found rookie Pee Wee Bailey. He was a good power hitter with decent contact, decent speed. Fielding is low, but that's all right. Most first basemen aren't great fielders. And he has a really, really good arm there at first base, which is kind of wasted at that position, but that means the potential is there to develop him into maybe a third baseman or an infielder. Who knows? If he signs, then Lewis Rhodes probably becomes the starting for everyday first baseman, which is good because he's cheap and he's reliable and he's a good power hitter. So that's what we need. So we have options here at first base if we do go the route of replacing Joe Trunk. Moving down the list, I skipped second base. We didn't need a second baseman. Moving down to third base, I did find some high-level guys that could challenge Hackliner on the roster. First up, obviously, Beefcake McStevens. You remember him from the Platypi series. He was the captain. He's still an elite level hitter. He's got really good speed. He's a decent fielder. He's actually a better fielder than Liner. Doesn't have the arm Liner does, but that's okay. He would have high pitch at Tier 1, I believe. And power versus lefty would be at Tier 2, so he would still be a menace. He has not lost either of his traits here after 3 years. You'll remember in the Platypi series, Beefcake did lose his, I believe it was his power versus lefty trait, if I remember correctly. He lost that. Kept high pitch, and then I think he picked up another trait as well. I think it was like Little Hack or something. Moving down the list, I also found Mario Mustachio has left the Buzzards, I believe. He's already left the Buzzards in this series. Where did he play last year? He played with the Hot Corners last season, and he actually did respectably well. But Mario is obviously a well-rounded third baseman. He has stimulated for late-in-game moments. He also has Dive Wizard, which would be a Tier 2, which is solid. He's an elite-level fielder at third base. He's got a good arm, not as good as Liners, but it's up there. It's solid. He's got better speed, and he's not as good of a hitter, but he is a very good option, and he's younger at 28. That's the important part right there. Down the list, I did find Danger Villarreal, a well-rounded 20-year-old prospect. Danger played for the Sawteeth last year. He didn't play very well, but looking at these ratings, this is a promising start for a young player entering his second year who potentially could replace Hackliner right now and step in and probably offer maybe not the same level of offensive dominance, but he'd be a really good player offensively. Like the power is there, the speed is really there, so he's a good runner. And fielding is not that bad. It's better than Liners. His arm isn't, but that's okay. Distractor, underrated trade in my opinion. So we have a young option here if we want to let go of a Hackliner, maybe open up the budget a little bit more and, let some development flow into the team. Is that the route we need to go? Maybe. Moving down the list, I found a couple backup options. Bertha Banks, formerly from the Bee-Wolves. Big Hack obviously would be at Tier 3, first pitch player at Tier 2, which is all right. Bertha struggled in my Reaper series, but I think as a backup, she's passable. Smokey Ash, I found him again. He's still here. I think he also would be an option as a backup. And I also found a young 25-year-old Hemming Bellamy. He's a good power bat off the bench, be a good pinch hitter for late power. Fielding is all right. He's nothing special, though. I probably wouldn't sign him. I just found him because he's cheap and worth only $4 million. So it would be backup level money, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think backup level you want like maybe around $5 million or less probably for like a backup. So Bertha is slightly over $5 million. That's probably because she has the big hack trade. If that wasn't there, she'd be under $5 million for sure. Moving down to shortstop, we didn't need a shortstop, so I skipped that. I moved into left field. The elite level guys I wasn't intrigued with. Obviously, we've had Axel Torque in the series. We've had him in multiple series, actually. We know what he's capable of. Stallion Johnson, he's just not there for me. Yes, he has discipline traits, but they'd only be a Tier 1. That doesn't intrigue me. Plus, he's a horrible fielder out there, and he's not actually a great hitter. Hetty Bugles, the traits just don't line up with the chemistry build we're going for, and she can't field either. Stan Alive, he's a little older, can't field. Again, like it's a trend here. Marvin Steed is 39. He's in the middle of regression. He's already dropped down to a B+. He'll probably get lower than that this season, plus his chemistry doesn't work. Jack Cracker. Scholarly trait does chemistry does work. We know he's an elite level hitter, but I don't think he's worth $9 million, honestly. I found young Nicholas Horton, 20-year-old. He's a good, well-rounded player, kind of like Rory Crowds was. Hitting ratings almost line up perfectly. He's a little bit weaker in that department, same in the speed. He's also not a great fielder, but he's got a good arm out there in left field, and stimulate is a decent trait. But then I found that Filet Jones has left the sirloins, and that little hack trait at Tier 3, that's going to be dynamite for Jones. And I know everything else is like average or less, but Jones is young still. He's 23. He's very developable as pairs with Crowds. He's already 26. He's kind of set in who the player he is. While as Jones, there's always room to improve. And then I found a bench option, Silas Beal, worth about $5.5 million. He's a disciplined player. He's a good fielder. He'd probably be a defensive sub. Decent hitter too. He's he's there. Fastball hitter is all right. Butterfingers is a little worrying, but he'd be a backup, so he would only be in the field late in games. So he is an option. Moved to left field as well. I also found Rash Estrada. He's a 19-year-old. No traits, but he would help chemistry, be a Tier 3 for Scholarly. He's got good power. He's got a good arm in left field. Not a good fielder, but that's all right. He's a bench guy, remember. And he has good contact and speed, like average starting ratings. That's pretty good. Moved down in the center field. I found Jackie Slam. That bitch is available. Ace Exterminator would be a Tier 3. RBI Hero at Tier 2. She is an option. She would cost the same amount of money as Rufo. Actually, she would cost more than Rufo. Rufo, we obviously know we plan to star him. Other than that, I didn't see like an elite level guy I liked. Brickhouse can't field, obviously. Dolph Steak is overrated. His hitting is just not there. Razzie Dazzler, although tempting, I said no. Looking at it now, I might consider her, especially if Rufo gets like sniped early. We could always go get her as the starting center fielder. I wouldn't mind. She actually is a well-rounded player, I have to admit it. I just hate it because she's been one of my nemesis this series. Magic Moore is also not a bad option here in center, but the hitting has me scared. Willie Bacon, he's obviously progressing. Janice Plows is that's not starting caliber for me, sorry. I mean, the fielding is great, the speed's great, but noodle arm's scary. And low pitch, Tier 1, no thanks. Yoink, bench guy at best, probably not going to sign him. He's making way too much money to be a bench guy. Same thing with Troll Dangerfield. I just had them start because I was thinking like defensive backup in outfielder kind of guys. Found rookie Taylor Turnip. He's actually very well rounded, but not backup level. Geronimo James, pushing it for backups. Grayson Parks wasn't tempting. Then I moved to right field. I see the cover athlete, Hammer Longballo, is available here in free agency. That might be a good signing to say we get rid of Liner. We make Hammer the guy we build around now. Fastball hitter, though, would only be a tier 1, but it's Hammer. I mean, then I saw Dano Yoshida is available, and I'm like, hold on a minute now. 24-year-old, a young outfield catcher? That would take care of the need for the defensive catcher altogether because we could just plug in Yoshida and play in catcher. So then we could pick whatever catcher we wanted. And it's devious. He'd be making slightly more than Statsman, but I think Yoshida is a better player. Then I found rookie Jamari Ochoa. Noodle arm sucks, especially with that good of an arm at 86. He's a great offensive level guy. He can't field. Most right fielders can't. He'd also be an option in right field. Same with Whoopsie Sawyer. Actually, a very good defender. Decent arm. Good contact bat. Maybe she's an option as well. She'd also would be a discount for Statsman. And then I think I found a backup outfielder here. A couple, actually. Poke Foster, obviously, utility player. Can never go wrong with a utility player. And Adelmo Riley. Cannon arm, all-speed hitter. That sounds like a winner to me. All right, and then we moved to pitching, obviously. Not as many options here. Obviously, we found, for the starting spot, Danny Deals. He would challenge Dieguez for the ace role, which I'd be fine with. I love Danny Deals. Arsenio Newman, I did see. He's actually going to be worth less than Danny Deals. I'll put him on the list. There'll be less money we have to spend. Lad Bradwick is an option. 3-pitch starters, though, are scary, so he may not be the one we end up going with. There is Durbin Holmes, obviously from the Wild Pigs. He's won a ring here in the series already. He is 5-pitch pitcher, junk baller, accuracy-based. Rick Harding, another young pitcher, 25. Workhorse would be a tier 2. He's also an option, and he's the cheapest option available. Zane Rossi also would probably push Trock down to number 4, but he doesn't meet the criteria of keeping Bergeberg for being the number 2, so I probably wouldn't sign him now that I think about it. And then moving down the list for reliever, obviously we're looking for ace level. I found Daxton Bernal, young left-hander long reliever with specialist and crossed up. Junk baller. Only 3 pitches, though, unfortunately. And then moving down the list, obviously Immaculate Spectacular is available. Charlie Best is available. Chuck Filthwick. Steamboat Wissell. Bert Bergerer. All elite-level guys that could replace Alan Sims and back up Elaine Munstar or be the actual best pitcher in our bullpen, for sure. There are options. We just need to make the budget work for us. I also found a couple closers, surprisingly. Carter Shaw would be a great late-inning guy. Density Preston, Withers Drader, Eugene Garlapally. All of them would be suitable options. I prefer Preston probably the best because he's got 3 pitches, whereas the others only have 2. Yes, Composed would only be a tier 1, but that's fine. Scholarly build, him and Shaw would both fit that. Drader would have tier 3 elite 4-seamer, which is already at 94, but he's 32. And Garlapally also at 32 would have reverse splits. All right. Let's sim up the first couple of customary rounds, of course. We'll sim 5 this time because we do have a couple guys we are targeting here. Oh, I also did see Sakta Song is available as well. I didn't point him out earlier, but yes, he is out here as well. Testing free agency once again, so there could be a reunion with Sakta in the future. Oh, is that Rufo? No, it's Beefcake. Oh, thank God. Okay, so Beefcake's not an option. All right, Axelson, there's Zoner. Guy Gold's a free agent, damn. High Eye to the Crocs, replacing Winnie Noel. Bad Hop Brown and What Do You Know's back on the Crocs. Okay. And then round 1, there was 1 signing. Izzy Baker. Okay. For the Heaters. Okay. Nothing exciting in those rounds. I don't think anything was in round 3, if I remember correctly. Nope. Beefcake we did see sign there in round 4. And round 5, we did not see anybody sign. So let's check on Ray's Rufo and see if he's hit his price point yet. Yeah, so Rufo's the big one that I'm kind of like looking at early because we know he was close to his price point already. He's actually at 13.5. He's only half a million above. Do we take the risk for one more round or do we go get him now? Now, reminder, Rufo is 32. Rally Star's decent at tier 2. Is really good at tier 2, especially on him. And high pitch at tier 1. We saw he could do well with it even in the playoffs. With it at tier 1, which it was. So we know Rays can work with it. So I say we risk it for one more round. And then we see what's available. Look at my other guys here real quick. Yeah, none of these guys are close to signing. Okay, one more round. That's it. All right, Manny K's to the Pigs. Okay. Okay, that's it. Where is Rays? Where are you, brother? $13.3. Okay, he's 0.3 above. I'm okay with signing him for that. That I'm okay with. That's not horrible. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get Rays back now. So this is already $2 million cheaper than what he was making for us in the playoffs. So welcome back, Rays. You impressed me enough to come back to the team, buddy. Thank you for being a pal in the playoffs. All right, so with that means we can get rid of Slam and Dazzler off the list so we can stop seeing their updates. Yoink and Dangerfield I'm not going to probably go after. Turnip, same thing probably. Just too high level for me. Alright, cool. And James I'll keep on there. Okay. None of the others I was worried about, so we'll sim up to round 10 here. And round 10, we're done. Okay. All right, so the Pigs got Rockman. Good luck with that. He's not good. Sacked is going to the Nemesis. No, not the division rivals. Damn it. Of course. Bender to the Platypi. So Bender wins a ring with the Sirlings and then immediately leaves, I see. Interesting. Okay, Bender does not stick around. And we know the Sirloins lost Manny K's as well because he signed earlier in free agency and it wasn't with them. Ooh, alright. That's interesting. Who's going to be the ace of the Sirloins now? I don't know. Alright, looking at the prices, everyone's still a little bit above all their ranges. No one really jumping off the page at me and needing to be signed like right this second. So maybe Mustachio, he's within $1 million of his price, but I think maybe we can wait. Same thing with Villarreal. So yeah, I think we can go another round or two here and we can see what really happens on this side of things. Pitching, though, they generally like to take pitchers a little bit earlier than where they are supposed to be going. Deals and Newman, they're still a little bit, they're above $500,000 above. Same with Bradwick, Holmes, and Harding. So yeah, I think we can wait. All right, one round. Take it a round at a time here. We see Slam to the Freebooters. Respectable, at least it's not Brickhouse. Sauter to the Moose, thank God. Spectacular to the Grass Eaters. I forgot to check relievers. My bad. That one's on me. That one's on me. I should have checked that. That's on me. Let's see. 0.6, 0.5, Oh, Filthwick's under his value. Granted, Filthwick is 34, and he doesn't have any traits either. Best is at 0.4. Okay. I'm kind of aiming for Wissell or Berger on this one because I want to get one of them to replace Sims. So I'm going to wait one more round, I think. All right, Frequent to the Jacks. Pansky to the Sirloins. So the She is going to be the 2. Black is going to be the ace for Tonda Black. Nice. That's a great signing right there. But great back-to-back signings for the Sirloins to beef up their rotation. Turnburner also to the Sirloins. Oh, wow. That is 3 really good pitchers right there. They went all out this year. Charlie Best does go to the Freebooters. I kind of expected that. Jameson Cisneros to the Platypi. And then we also, that's it. Okay, cool. So relievers, Filthwick is still there. So is Wissell and Bergerer. I think if we want Wissell, he's going to have both traits at tier 3. I think we need to sign him now. So let's get him for Sims. Allen's going to go. It's only going to cost us a little under $4 million. Okay, I can work with that. All right, so the bullpen's now set. We don't need to worry about that anymore. I love that signing. And I know One Boy's going to love that signing too. He's a huge freebooters guy. He loves Steamboat Wissell. We don't need the closers anymore. Although they probably would be a discount, honestly. Definitely would be a discount. I think I like the choice with Wissell. I think I trust him more. Hammer is still out there, man. All right, I think we get Dano here as well. I think we go get him for Statsman. I know it's going to be a bit of an increase in price, but I think Dano's a far better player than Statsman is. Just, like, literally his hitting ratings are basically the same already. Speed is down, yes, but that's because he plays catcher, and his fielding and arm are, like, leagues above Statsman in both categories. So this is easy signs. We get Dano here. We're down to $25 million. That means we can go whatever direction we want in the closer department, catcher department. So we no longer need Hammer. We don't need Ochoa. We don't need, do this by position here. And we don't need Sawyer. Now we're just looking at the bench guys and being like, okay, what are we going to do with you guys? Filet is very close to his price point. I say we can go one more round on him for sure, I think. I don't think there's anybody I'm worried about losing except maybe Villarreal, I think. I really need more time to make that decision. Because I love Hackliner. Remember, both his traits will be a tier 3. Could I see sacrificing Mustachio here? Mustachio, the only thing he's got better on is fielding and speed. Villarreal is the same in power, basically. He's got a bit of a drop-off in big drop-off in contact. He's better speed, better fielder. And arm is a little bit weaker, but it's not bad. I think Villarreal beats out Mustachio for me here. I kind of want to go one more round, though, just to see if we can get him as close to $10 million as possible. Especially since we did go and get Yoshida. And Wissell. I think Wissell's money outweighs Liner's money. I think it's like trading his money for his money, basically, is what would happen here. Because we would get a pitcher with 2 tier 3 traits and lose a hitter with 2 tier 3 traits. Which sucks. Alright, let's see. Hammer to the Beewolves, Ochoa to the Blowfish, Bernal to the Sirloins. We see Deals to the Buzzards. That's unfortunate. I do love Danny Deals. Stafford to the Moonstars. Terrell, the catcher, to the Beewolves. Ooh, I like that play by them. Who else we got out here? Filthwick to the Beewolves. Okay. All right. Not bad. Respect. All right, so Fiona's at her price. Crosby is almost at his price. We can pick either one of these guys now because I can just plug in Dano Yoshida. He can relieve Crosby and Sportsman and play catcher for us. So, really, we don't need to go get Clark now. I can take the risk on the rookie catcher here and sign him instead. So, we'll wait for him to get below his price point. First base, do I want to trade McFarland for Trunk? That is the question. Or do I trade Bernard or Bailey? Let me think about it. So we're getting Crosby, which is scholarly. We're replacing him for King. So we're going to hit scholarly at tier 3, so we don't need to go scope out another scholarly player, basically. It's like we're not locked into getting one, right? Banks is well below her price point. We could probably sign her now for cheap. Smokey is well below his price point. My God. Bellamy is at his price point. Where's Villarreal? He's 10-1. I think we can go one more round. I really think we could. I think we can. Filet is at his price point too. I think we go one more. All right. Johnson to the Moonstars. Jackson released by the Pigs for Fiona Clark. Okay, so Fiona's off the board. Torque to the Jacks. Knox Weber. Long reliever to the Buzzards. Or Weber. There goes Harding. Harding was the one I really wanted. I should have signed him. James to the Pigs replacing Goyo. So there's one of our bench outfield options gone. Mustachio to the Hot Corners. Bradwick to the Grapplers. Villarreal to the Freebooters. God damn it. Okay, so Liner's staying. Uwanga to the Nemesis, Grapowski to the Sawteeth, Holmes to the Sandcats, Leverage to the Nemesis, Newman to the Buzzards, Buffler to the Buzzards, Haiwanasi to the Pigs, same with Odor, Stake to the Jacks. Damn, that just really emptied my whole option on starting pitching, I think. Well, there is Winnie Noel, veteran, workhorse at tier 2. Not ideal. Jerry Capps is old as shit. Slip is surprisingly the youngest, but the traits scare me. It's going to need to be one of these guys. Probably Noel, if I had to pick. She's the best option of the 3. I don't like the traits on Vanderwink, because people are just going to keep stealing on him, and they'll need Yoshida to catch on days he pitches, which limits me in right field. Or Jerry Capps. I mean, all of them we know are going to regress. Like, they're not going to stay at the number 2 level for long, basically. Bergenberg will end up taking over the number 2 role. It's just, what point of the season does he, or does he just start immediately? We could get Rossi with the Elite 4-seamer at tier 3. That could work. I mean, Trock would still be the number 4 for sure. I can always manipulate it to have Rossi be the 3. Wyatt Fiducci doesn't strike me as a winner. Love Lauren, Slackov, LaJoy is old. Sawyer is 30 now. Rossi's probably the best youth factor-wise. We get him. That probably would be a good signing here. Puts him as the 3. Crafty for crafty player, I see. Okay. I don't love it, but at the same time, I think that's what we're going to be handicapped to do. Unless we decide to accept the fact we're going to get a regressing number 2 pitcher for the season. And he's already below his price point, too. We're not risking losing him for anything. We can just get him now for free. Accuracy's a little low. That does scare me. That 4-seamer at tier 3, though, it is calling my name. I do love Workhorse, too. They have the same pitch mix, I think, too. 4-seam, 2-seam, curveball, slider. Hers is slider changeup. You know what? I'm going to risk this here. We're going to make Bergenberg the 2, and we're going to put Rossi in at 3 for now. Maybe if someone comes open late, we can go get him, but we're going to go with Rossi. Okay. Well, that sucked because I didn't pay attention to starters. That's on me. Again, just zoomed off in my own little world and missed them. My bad, guys. Anywho. So Crosby is at $4 million. Below his price point. Okay. McFarland. Got Bernard. We got Bailey. Is Lewis Rhodes ready to start, though? That's the question. Like, is Lewis Rhodes ready? I don't know. I don't know. Lewis is the better fielder. And this would free up $5 million. If we get rid of Choker on Trunk. I don't know. Man, this sucks. I'm stuck in a rock and a hard place here. Damn it. McFarland is disciplined. She would help us get disciplined up to tier 2-ish. Put us in that area. Do I trust the rookie? Power has been something we are severely lacking in this series. I don't know how I feel about this, honestly. Bellamy would also help with that. Okay, alright. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright, well, I'm going to grab Filet Jones then. He's below his price point. So he'll sub in for Crowds right here. Puts that there. Okay. Little Hack will be a tier 3 momentarily. Noodle Arm does suck in left field, but I can sacrifice for that tier 3 trait. Silas Beal would work with the discipline thing we're trying to go for as well. It's going to be close. We're going to need a lot of things to go our way here. Okay. You know what? I think we take McFarland for Trunk. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to risk it here. I'm going to go with McFarland here. Replace Trunk with her. Gives the extra discipline player right there. Okay. So Joe is gone. I think we're going to wait another round on this catcher. Saying we don't need Bernard or Bailey anymore. I think we wait a little bit more on Bellamy. I think we're going to end up taking Bertha here. Yeah, we're going to end up taking Bertha for sure. Because it's Scully for Scully. It'll keep us Scully right here where we need it to be. Plus, we're going to be trading King for Scully players. That's the extra one we need. And then we'll need to trade Cortez as well, probably for a Scully player as well. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so Discipline's probably not getting up to tier 2 is what I'm seeing. Might need to go back and take a look at this. Okay. But yeah, let's get Bertha for the backup here. Aging veteran is fine. She's already well below her price point too, so it's not like we're going to lose out on anything there. Or do we sign Crosby for Sportsman? Because that's going to be a tier that's going to only have like 3 trades. Cortez isn't here anymore, so we would have Distractor at tier 1, Pick Officer at tier 1. That could work. That could work. We lose First Pitch Slayer, we lose Bunter, that's fine. Sportsman might be a casualty here. I might need to come back to this. I might end up dropping him instead of King. That might be what happens here, and that means Yoshida would start in at catcher. Which means we'll need someone else in right field. But who ends up out in right field? That's the question. Is it Beal? Is it Estrada? I don't know. How do we play that? Would it be Riley, the young guy with cannon arm? Or Poke Foster's obviously not going to start. How do I want to do this? I don't mind it. Would competitive go to tier 3? I think I have a ballsy play that might just work. I think this is going to work. And you all are going to call me crazy, but this might be the play. I'm going to go one more round, and we'll see if it sticks. All right. So Cassius Polbean, young second baseman of the Sirloins. We get Backman to the Buzzards. Carter Shaw, the closer, to the Moonstars. Whoopity to the Freebooters. Plows to the Platypi. Vanderwink to the Wide Loads. Caps to the Wide Loads. So was Fiducci. Bugles to the Sandcats, Brickhouse to the Moose, and Cracker to the Grapplers. Okay, this plan is going to work. It's crazy, but hear me out, okay? First things first, we're going to do the catcher spot. So I'm going to release Sportsman, not Alberto King. Now, Alberto is the weaker player by far, and they're the same age. And the plan originally was to keep Sportsman, but the trait thing I don't think is going to work out here. Or will it, actually? Hold on. So if we get Crosby, that puts Scholarly to Tier 3, competitive stays at Tier 2. Okay, alright, hold on. So then we go, the other move is replacing him, Cortez. He's the only one left to replace. Because I'm not cutting anyone else. So Cortez is Scholarly. We would need Scholarly to be a Tier 3, meaning he would need to be replaced by a Scholarly player. And of the guys that are left on our list, Beal is Disciplined. Estrada is Scholarly, so automatically it's Estrada. We don't have none of the backup center fielders I liked. Riley is Competitive, and Foster is Spirited. So obviously by default, the answer here is, where's the left fielder? It is Rash Estrada, who can play left and right, but he's not a great fielder. He does have an arm. He's got some power. But he's not the ideal guy that I want out there as a backup outfielder. What I'm going to do, and this is a crazy play, so I want you to bear with me on it. We're going to keep King, not Sportsman. We release Sportsman for Crosby. We save some money. And we put Crosby in. So this means that Dano Yoshida is now the primary catcher, which is fine. Or we stick Yoshida in right field to start the game. Crosby starts, say, the first game. We sub him in late in the game to be the late inning guy to prevent steals. King, same thing when he is the start. No big deal. But when we replace Cortez, now that we have the extra player, what happens if we go get Adelmo Riley? So if we get Riley, that's going to put us at Tier 3 competitive. We're still short a Scholarly player. My math is off slightly, okay? Is there someone I want to replace that I don't mind replacing? Not Munstar, not Heimlich. Rossi. Do I replace him for LaJoy? Putting LaJoy in. Because Crafty's going to be a Tier 1 regardless, and none of the traits that'll be a Tier 1 I'm overly worried about, which is a Distractor and another thing. Or we go get Lovelorn even. Omar, no. That's going to put Trock Smith as number 3. Could put Fuss in. Mario Klein, I didn't even see this guy. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up, bro. Four-seamer at Tier 3? Hold on a minute. We get Disciplined at Tier 2 now? Wait a minute. I can roll with this guy. Yeah, this is going to make Tarak the number 3, but... Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm glad I saw that. Yay me. I'm more excited now. Give me Klein. Replace him for Rossi. We get a Tier 3 trait and Workhorse. Okay. Alright, okay. Okay, I like that move. Is there anyone else I want to get rid of here? Liner. Nah, he does have the 2 tier 3 traits. We could get Nutmeg. Big drop off though. Yeah, we're talking huge drop off. Power, speed is up, contact's the same, fielding is the same, arm is the same, really. We're not dropping much for Nutmeg, who's a lot younger. Is Hack about to be a casualty? Maybe not. Hold on. Bertha. Dig. Tier 3 utility. Yeah. I love Dig. I don't want to get rid of him if I don't have to. Raise for Dazzler. No, that's not going to do me any good. Damn, I thought I had my math right. I don't. I'm short one crafty player, that's the problem. I'm short one scholarly player, I'm sorry. Oh man, I really thought I had this figured out. I had this big brain plan I thought was going to work. I was going to get 2 tier 3s for the price of 1. Damn, that's unfortunate. But at least we got disciplined up to tier 2, so at least everything will be tier 2 or higher, except crafty, which there ain't going to be. There's only 2 traits for it, so it's not going to hurt too bad. So we do need to replace Cortez with a scholarly player, which sucks, but it is what it is at this point. Now that really makes me look dumb for getting Sportsman over King. So we need a bench outfielder. So it's got to be then, it's going to have to be Rash Estrada. Just has to be. Alright, he's a young developable guy there in the outfield. I can work with that, I guess. So we're down to $4.5 million. Not a lot if we're going to develop this team, which now has a lot of young players. So we are going to need to free up some money somehow, and it's either Star, who's a young shortstop, Rufo, who's a slightly older center fielder. We have Dano, who's a young outfielder, Dieguez, who's a sort of veteran starter, Wissel, veteran bullpen arm, who's our ace. That's not who we're going to get rid of. It's not going to be him. It's not going to be Dieguez. It's not going to be Yoshida. It's either going to be Rufo going or Liner. Those are the two with the big money that I'm willing to part with here. Liner, obviously, because he's older at 34, or Rufo, who is 32. And if we were talking big money, Liner's probably the one who's going to have to go. We're going to get Nutmeg, which is a huge drop off there at third base, which is going to suck. But looking at the numbers outside of power, there's not a lot of a drop off. Contact is virtually the same. Fielding is virtually the same. Arm is basically the same as well. Speed is actually better. The only drop off is power. Nutmeg has base rounder, which would be a tier 2. Keeps our Scholarly at tier 3. Will keep us at Scholarly tier 3, which is fine. Oh man, this sucks. Alright, so either Nutmeg. Is there even an option to replace Rufo with? I believe there's Dazzler. Tough out at tier 2. She's 30. She's 2 years younger. Saves us $2 million. We save more money if we drop Liner here. So unfortunately, Hack is going to be the one going here, just because we need a little bit more money pumped into this team, I think. So it's going to be Kira to replace Hack. It ends up 5.5 in our back pockets. That puts us at 10 million. That's actually very good. And that's where you want your budget to be about. Sorry, Hack. I really wish we could have got you that championship at the end of the year, but we knew it was probably going to be a 1-year deal signing him to replace Song, and now it's coming back to bite us. We need that money. So we're going to get Kira here and put ourselves at 10 million. So Kira on board. She was in the Salty series for a brief stint, I think like 2 or 3 years, I think, maybe 4. She's the same level fielder as Hack. She has a better arm, or slightly less arm. It's about the same. She has much better speed. She has about the same contact. Power is the big drop off here with Kira. So We're getting a more contact-minded bat as opposed to power. But we did free up $4.5 million, so I'm not really complaining. So I think this is what the team we're going to roll with here heading into year 4 is going to look like. We did not upgrade the starting rotation like I hoped we would, which sucks. But we know Dieguez is capable. Bergenberg has stepped up big last year. And Smith put on some good performances as well. And now we got a young, unproven talent in Mario Klein, who has that workhorse and elite four-seamer trait. That's pretty good. Jacob, we know the bullpen's solid. We upgraded Sims for Wissel, so we have an ace pitcher to take a little bit of pressure off of Munstar and split the workload with her there late in games. We know Heimlich is an underrated gem. Roundhouse proves she deserves a shot to continue to develop, and Jacob was actually pretty decent for us as a long arm. He's more like a mop-up guy. Offensively, we do trade Statsman for Yoshida. I think we get the better end of the deal here. Yoshida's offense is basically the same as Statsman. Statsman's a much better runner, but Yoshida is a much, much better fielder, and he can catch too. So we can have him as the primary catcher as well. Rufo in center is a great pull, I think, for us. Rash Estrada, young backup rookie outfielder, can develop. Filet Jones, we bring him over from the Sirloins. He replaces Crowds. We get a little bit more potential here in left field. And we get that little hack at tier 3. That's going to be killer, I think, for him. Afordo is back still. Star sticks around at shortstop. He's going to be the piece we build around now in the infield. Him in action up the middle. Nutmeg replaces Liner. Bertha Banks is the new backup third baseman with that tier 3 big hack off the bench. I like that call. Elroy's still here at second. Lewis Rhodes is still here, and he's backing up now rookie Mira McFarland, who will be the primary first baseman moving forward, which is a waste of that pinch-perfect trait, but it is what it is. She's younger than Trunk. She's 7 years younger. She's a rookie. I think we got someone we can develop here. King sticks around over Sportsman, and we bring in rookie Beckham Crosby, who will now be the primary main catcher, whose position actually is catcher, not named Dano Yoshida. Let me know what you guys think of the moves here in the offseason. I know we didn't upgrade a lot like we wanted to, but I think we made the right calls for what was available and kind of like how the offseason broke down. I think we made the right moves, given what was available. All right, I'm going to go up through round 20 here real quick. Now I'm going to go look at the free agents and see if there's any high-level guys left. Obviously, Hack and Statsman are still here. They'll probably be gone soon. And Sims. But no big names signed to replace who is on the roster right now. Nothing that's piquing my interest at all. So yeah, we'll keep going now. Rip Dingers. Rip Dingers at third. Tempting, but no, I think I'll pass on that one. Goose Caboosler. Liner to the Buzzards, okay. Bernard to the Buzzards as well. Armstrong. Sportsman to the Blowfish. Ooh, Chris to the Grass Eaters. Lavo to the Buzzards, replaced on the Buzzards by Randy Mann. Joe Trunk to the Moonstars. Okay. Manley to the Heaters. Alright. I think I saw Sims got signed earlier. Where did he go? Sims went to the Sandcats. Okay. Rip Dingers is still out there. Beal, Sharp, Torrens, Indiera, Platoon. Platoon left the Sirloins. He's going to the Moose. Okay. Hill goes to the Moonstars. McCarty, the young first baseman, to the Moose. Fourth to the Blowfish. Slackoff for Harrison. Finnegan's, Rushmore, Goyo. Marshwater replaces Breeze. Dingers is still out here. Yeah, but outside of Dingers, there isn't really like a high-level person I would openly sign here. So Rip Dingers is going to be starting the year on free agency, which is surprising. He was a late release from the Moose. Yeah, no one signed. Okay. So yeah, we can start Dingers. He's an option. Turlington. Rush as a backup, maybe? Maybe Juanita as a backup. That'd be pretty interesting, too, I think. Young developable guys. Trey Mondo for pitching. Christopher Ribeye for middle infield. Poke Foster was not signed. Interesting. Serena Stanley. Gobelson, Neal, Oak Neal. Laura Randall, Jadiel Harrison. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Let's sum up to the first one here as we finish up the off-season here. And to begin the season, we are taking on the B-Wolves to start the year. Schedule looks like this. Got B-Wolves wide loads, doubleheader against the Nemesis. Klein and Smith, okay. Grapplers, doubleheader against the Buzzards. We play 6 of our 8 home games in the first 7 games of the year. When we play the Crocs, we have a doubleheader against the Jacks, Platypi Heaters, Nemesis Buzzards, and then our final 2 games are at home. Okay. Crocs and Jacks. So we play the Jacks 3 times, the Crocs twice, Nemesis 3 times, and Buzzards 3 times. Okay. Alrighty, so first opening day matchup will be Dieguez versus Beavis Ortiz. We take on the B-Wolves at home. Lineup will look like this. It will be, I want Yoshida in right field, actually. I'm going to put Jones in left, and I'm going to have Crosby start the game at catcher. So here's what we got. Rufo in center, leading off. Jones in left. Yeah, he's batting second. Mira McFarland, the rookie, will bat third at first base. Carlton will be at shortstop. Elroy will be at second base, batting fifth. I'm going to switch this around a little bit. Yoshida in right, Nutmeg at third, and Crosby catching. I'm going to put Action in the 2 slot. I'm going to have McFarland be 3. I'm fine with that. I want Yoshida. Yoshida at 5 or at 4. Jones at 5. Or Star at 5, Jones at 6 with that power. And then I will have Nutmeg 8 and Crosby 7. Alright, and then Dieguez 9. Okay. That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. The off-season has come to a close for the Overdogs. Here's a quick recap of what the team looks like now. In free agency, we signed rookie catcher Beckham Crosby, releasing Ned Sportsman. We signed rookie first baseman Mira McFarland, replacing Joe Trunk. We signed Kira Nutmeg, the former Sawtooth third baseman. She is taking over for Hackliner at third. This was a cash grab. She played for the Moose last year. Coming off 2 seasons to start her career, batting 189 and 082. Last year she had her bounce-back season hitting 279, but she has yet to hit a home run here in the playthrough. Bertha Banks is the new backup third baseman. Carlton Starr is still at shortstop. Digaforto still the bench infielder. Filet Jones is now the new left fielder, replacing Rory Crowds. Rookie Rash Estrada is the new backup outfielder, replacing Javier Cortez. Reyes Rufo was re-signed after his great impressive playoff performance. He's come back to be the center fielder. Daniel Yoshida we steal from the Buzzards. He will be playing right field and catcher for us this season, replacing Trax Statsman. Dieguez returns as the ace now of the pitching staff, followed by Bergenberg bumping up to number 2. Tarak Smith bumps up to 3, and we sign rookie starter Mario Klein when all of our high-level guys we wanted for pitching got taken early. Jacob Marshmallow still returns as the long reliever. Steamboat Wissell is the new ace reliever, taking a little bit of the pressure off Munstar. He replaces Alan Sims. Munstar is back along with Heimlich and Roundhouse. That is going to do it for this episode, everybody. The off-season is over. Let me know your thoughts down below on the roster moves we did make and who your favorite signing was, your least favorite signing was, and if I could have done things a little bit better, how would you have handled the situation? Tune in next time, which will be opening day for year 4, with the Overdogs back at it again. So we have the Dogs episode will be year 4, We will then open up, I believe it's year 4 or 5 in control of the Dime Bombers. I have to go back and look, but they will be returning to the channel along with the Chemlock Challenge with the Freebitters. We will go back to a 3-series rotation, recording a different series in a rotation of 3. Now that everything's caught up in the beginning of a new season for these 2 series, the Dive Bombers and Overdogs, of course. That's going to be the update for that. I'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Until then, this is the Nasty One signing off. Have a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you guys may be.